Hello there, I'm Shane Koob, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the state of SDSU Athletics with Leon Costello. He's the Senior Associate Athletic Director at South Dakota State. And Leon, just to start things off, how do you think the football season went this year, and what kind of impact does that have on SDSU?
You know, I think if you take a look at what we've been able to accomplish in football, it's one of those things where it's a growing process, and it's almost like we're learning. And to be able to do as well as we did in conference season, in the regular season, but then to have the opportunity to host our first ever playoff game at Coughlin Alumni Stadium, to never have hosted a game on campus before was a big step for us. And then to go a step farther and to get the first playoff win is just another huge step for us. And so all those things are new things for us.
In terms of, I guess, impact on maybe the school as a whole in terms of a brand, what is this as big as making the NCAA tournament like the men's basketball team last year in terms of recruiting and ticket sales?
I think it depends on how you look at it, because I think it's great for both programs. When you look at ticket sales, you look at recruiting, you look at the impacts that it has on the individual programs. I think it's tremendous. It gets your name out there. Obviously, the national exposure. When you're making a tournament, a postseason tournament, you're one of few teams that are able to do that at the end of the season. But when you're starting to compare football and basketball, they're a little bit different, because you have one model, which is everything's done on ESPN3, and as you move down into the playoffs, you'll get on ESPN and ESPN2. Then you take the men's basketball one and you talk about the national exposure with CBS. They're just two different animals, but for us, they're both very positive for our program. I think they're positive for the athletic department. They're positive for the university, and I think not only does it give exposure to the athletic department, it gives exposure to the entire university.
You bet. How does the national, talking about basketball, how does the national media attention of that Nate Walters has gotten over the last year, how does that impact the athletic department?
It's tremendous, and I think it's one of those things where we're just starting to learn how social media works. Because if you remember, after the Washington game, this whole thing really started based on social media. Mm-hmm. It was a couple YouTube videos that got viral, and a couple of reporters picked up on it, and now it's all over Twitter, it's all over Sports Illustrated, it's in CBS. I mean, it really started with social media, and really we've learned a little bit about that, is how can we do things to really get our brand out there, to get our name out there. What else can we do? And I think we've really learned a lot from this, and if we do the things the right way, then other people will pick up on it and take off and run with it.
All right. Well, we're going to go to our main focus of the interview here, the indoor practice facility. What would you call this facility? Would you call it a milestone in the Division I era here at SDSU?
Yeah, I think it's not even in the Division I era. I think it's just a milestone to build a building of this caliber on this campus. It's an extraordinary feat. When you take a look at the sheer size and scope of the facility, there's not one like it in the country. You look at some of the BCS schools that will build just a football practice facility, or they'll build just a basketball practice facility. This will encompass all 470 of our student athletes, and so the sheer size of it doesn't compare to really anything. It's a true multi-use facility with a 300-meter indoor track with 100 yards of turf. We've got extra room on the ends to do field events for, let's say, for a track meet. We could host 8 or 9 man football. We can do a lot of different things, but then when you add in the nets, when you can bring down nets for batting cages, nets for golf events, things like that, everybody that has an outdoor sport will really be able to utilize this facility. But not only that, it'll impact all 470 of our student athletes, because it'll also contain athletic training services, strength and conditioning services, and some academic services as well.
Well, it sounds like it's an exciting time to be a Jackrabbit, Leon. We'd like to thank you for stopping by today and talking to us about Jackrabbit Athletics. Till next time, I'm Shane Koob. Have a good one, Jackrabbits.